Not every strange belief is a delusion. Not every eccentric person is psychotic. Some minds simply live closer to the edge of imagination, where logic softens and symbolism takes over. That's the world of schizotypal personality disorder, a place where intuition feels like proof, coincidence feels like fate, and connection feels complicated. Some minds simply live closer to the edges of imagination, where logic softens and symbolism takes over. That's the world of schizotypal personality disorder, a place where intuition feels like proof, coincidence feels like fate, and connection feels complicated. Schizotypal personality disorder, or STPD, belongs to the cluster A of the personality disorders. That's the odd or eccentric group. It goes alongside paranoid and schizoid personality structures. People with STPD often seem unusual, not in a theatrical way, but in a subtle, magnetic strangeness. They may speak in ways that feel indirect or mystical. They notice patterns other people overlook. They might dress differently, move differently, think differently. Clinically, we see a few core themes. One is persistent social anxiety, especially from feeling like an outsider or like somebody who doesn't belong. There's also magical thinking, which is believing thoughts or symbols have hidden meaning. There are also unusual perceptual experiences like sensing energy or significance in coincidences. Suspiciousness or mild paranoia, not psychotic, but just wary. And an overall pattern of social detachment paired with deep inner world building. It's often confused with schizophrenia, but there's a crucial difference. People with schizotypal personality maintain reality testing. They might question reality, but they still know it's reality. Imagine walking through the world feeling like there's a code underneath everything. Every glance, every song lyric, every random number feels like it might mean something. You're not hallucinating, you're interpreting. And sometimes that interpretation feels beautiful. Other times, it's exhausting. You crave connection, but social interactions feel electric, too intense, too layered with unspoken meaning, and people misunderstand you. They call you weird or off or spacey. You start to withdraw socially, not because you want isolation, but because it's safer than being misread again. It's a lonely kind of intelligence, living half in reality and half in metaphor. Now, the science behind schizotypal personality disorder helps explain why it feels this way. Research shows subtle differences in dopamine regulation, the same neurotransmitter that influences reward, motivation, and our perception. A little too much dopamine in the wrong pathway, and your brain starts connecting dots that aren't really connected. Brain imaging studies show reduced gray matter in areas like the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, which are regions that organize thoughts and reality testing. Some people also have temporal lobe irregularities, which can cause unusual sensory experiences, like hearing your name when no one said it, or feeling an energy shift in a room. So no, it's not just being weird. There's neurobiology behind that otherworldly lens. STPD might even represent a milder expression on the schizophrenia spectrum, a genetic echo without the psychotic break. If you miss about schizotypal personality disorder or that they are psychotic, they usually aren't. They might flirt with the edges of psychosis under stress or have comorbidities, but typically they know what's real. Number two is that they're dangerous. In reality, they're often anxious, gentle, and hyper self-aware individuals. If anything, the danger is to themselves from isolation and feeling like an outcast and being misunderstood. Another myth is that they can't be helped or that they can't be treated. Actually, they can. Therapy helps build trust. You can do reality testing and make connections there. Low-dose atypical antipsychotics can reduce perceptual distortions, and clinicians who meet them with curiosity and compassion instead of correction see far more progress than those who pathologize their difference. As a clinician, the most powerful thing you can do is respect the person's inner logic. If they tell you they feel energies or sense patterns, you don't have to agree, but you also don't have to crush it. Ask them, what does that mean for you? That single question builds trust and insight simultaneously. These clients often live in metaphor, so meet them there. Interpret gently rather than interrogating. Because beneath the eccentric surface is usually a history of loneliness, social rejection, and anxiety about being misunderstood. Schizotypal isn't crazy. It's a mind that sees in constellations, a brain tuned to frequencies most people filter out. Schizotypal isn't crazy. It's a mind that sees in constellations, a brain tuned to frequencies most people filter out. Sometimes that sensitivity hurts, but it also gives rise to imagination, intuition, and creativity most of us can't reach. They don't need us to drag them back to earth. They just need us to stand in their orbit for a while to see that their world isn't broken, just built differently. Eccentric doesn't mean unstable. It means someone saw the world a little differently and decided to stay. Thank you for being here today, Nation, and I'll see you next time. Bye.